Yes?
Please still recording if it's stopped.
Right.
There's a dot.
So it's nice to know that you have no clue what you're doing when you come in and start talking.
Yeah, the shitters which he ripped off.
Thanks, sir.
It seems that it's necessary for me to say this, which is slightly disappointing. It mostly seems to be driven by the people who've just arrived. But occasionally I have trouble here. And it hurts a lot, right? So I'm a bit short-tempered. So if you arrive late and come in and you're just talking, I'm going to be irritated. So as long as you understand that that's what's going to happen, and we're clear, that's fine. Right? Now, what is it about? Coursework, what is it about? What's the thing that you're asked to investigate? Tyler?
Well, the question is investigating the factor that affects how far a ski jumper travels in the air.
Okay, so, and what shape ski jump? They're very particular.
Slope.
It's a very weird shape.
Hitting them trick shots.
Hit marker.
You're right, Tyler. But there is a particular shape of ski jump which makes life much easier. Right? It's true that that's more than normal shape. Yeah? Okay? It's true. But you don't have to do that, and that's much more complicated. Okay? So you don't do that. And you're glad that you don't have to do that, because believe me, the physics is much more complicated. Okay? So you're happy about that. Now, what do they want you to know? They want to know about something that affects distance. Right? So distance is going to be what type of variable? What type of variable? What's the variable that you measure to find out what it is? You've got two choices. You've got independent or dependent. Output or input variable. It's the output variable. Okay? Distance traveled is the output variable. The better name variable, the better name is independent. It's independent. Okay? That's the better name. What sort of things could we change to affect the distance travelled by the ski jump? What's the ski jumper going to be in our experiment? How are we going to simulate a ski jumper? Yeah, we could do an actual ski jump. We could go off to France. We could. Pardon? We're going to do a practical. Go on. Yes. What did you say? You did say something. You can have a ball. So, you can have a ball. Yes. So, you could have right. You could have the size of the ball, couldn't you? Could be one thing that would affect. Yes, Tyler. Okay, but specifically, you mean? Can we write this height? Yes, you can. Okay, you mean that height, don't you? Yeah? Right? I haven't even got everybody's attention. Right? You mean the height above the launch point. Yeah? So that's good. So the height above the launch point, which on our diagram was H. Yeah? You're not bothering to write this because you're too good for it. Well done. I'll expect 64 out of 64. Okay, what other things could affect the distance travelled? Well, it could be a possibility. I mean, you just can say anything to me at the moment. You could have maths. Oh, cool. Okay, you could have maths. Well, what else? What else? Somebody else. Somebody else. Tyler, go on then. The speed of the ball. Now this is complicated because if you increase the height here, what happens to the speed of the ball there? It increases, yeah. So certainly, the speed of the ball. But are we going to be able to measure that? Yeah, are we going to be able to measure that? Or not?
Yes.
I don't know how. Well, we could try and use a light gate, but it's going to get quite complicated. And we know how you all love light gates. So we're just going to pretend we don't have any. Yeah?
No.
Okay? For your sanity and mine. Now, what else? Well, okay, leave it like that. Now, this is what I want you to do. Sensibly. Sensibly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ramps. Okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. For the moment. So groups of 3. What I want. So I want you. Not now. There are things to think about here, right? And all I want you to do this lesson, right, is to get comfortable with the apparatus. Okay. Now, come around the front. Now I would like a clamp stand, or a retort stand, sorry, and a clamp and a boss, please.
Right, go on, Aaron.
And a boss.
Now.
Oh, talking to you? Right,
First thing. And a clamp and a boss.
Come on.
And a clamp and a boss.
A boss?
You're the boss.
How are you meant to pass the GCSEs today on bosses, mate? Waste man.
Oh, look. Look in the other trays. And turn the rest.
Bows. Bows. I'm a bows.
And I need the clamp.
Is that a boss?
Like a boss.
Like a boss.
I tell you what, should we not bother?
Scare boss.
Because at the moment,
No, this
people are
is
still
important
talking.
for our Augustus.
Now, you all have
Just
to come up with your own
SS.
arrangement. Your own arrangement for this. But basically what you want, you come up, you have a play with it. Right? And you try and decide what's the best way of arranging this so that
Had a play with Fiona.
you can drop the ball
Yeah, man.
and you will probably need to have another retort stand. Sorry, another clamp. There. Yeah? Okay? And I personally would arrange it like that. But you can have a play. And you also want to have a retort stand. They gave me one that was rather short. Yes? Okay? Right, so you want to be able to put it up here if you can. Does that make sense? Okay? So you probably want to be able to put a G
See that photo
there.
of Chris Point?
and then, there's another thing. If you wave these around, which some of you will do, I will take them off you. Right? Because you're busting. Right? And what you do is you get a ball and you start to ask yourself questions. Well, when you do it, does changing the height
Lol, fail.
Great catch.
This is over there.
How could he?
It's not your fault. It's not what I'm annoyed at. Okay, right, so there's a problem instantly. Right, can I have the golf ball, please? Right, thank you. Another problem, straight away. But you do this. Right, then there'll be some marbles. You try those, yes? So you try what sort of balls work, yeah? Then you try things like, does actually changing the height change how far it travels? Right? Just getting used to the apparatus does change the height. How are you going to record the position of the ball? Pardon? How are you going to record the actual position? Right? So you start to think about how you record the actual position of the ball when it lands. What about this business of it coming off the table? That's at a particular height. Now, if you change the height, then what does that change? Well, it's not how fast it's travelling like this.
The distance you can go.
But it may well change the distance that it travels, and you start to try it. Try it off the table.
So basically,
try
we
it
just play
off
with
the
them.
stool, or try it. Listen.
My neck is itchy.
Try it off a stool. Try off a couple of things. Okay. Right. You experiment. You try. Yeah. You practice setting it up. Right. Maybe you need to move your desk by lifting it to orientate it. Because if it's coming off here, it might be that it's just going to bounce and go under there. So you can turn your desk around. You get used to the apparatus. Does that make sense? Now, in terms of groups, and we've already had people deciding who they're going to work with. Ask yourself, will I work sensibly with these people?
Yes.
Because this is 25% of your GCSE. Right? 25%. Be certain that you will work well. Do not dismiss the tennis ball and the golf ball because...
Well, that's gone.
Yeah, well, you can get that.
It's over
if
there.
you don't have it too steep, it actually works. But you try it. Do you understand? So you experiment. Do you understand what I want? Are you
Yes.
keeping a rough log of what sort of things? There are other things on this list. Right? What are they? You're just getting familiar with the apparatus. You don't really have to write anything down. You can keep little notes, yeah, to remind you. But you don't have to have an exhaustive set of results. Do you understand what I want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So that then we can get on with, this isn't preliminary work. This is preliminary work. This is, you have a little play, not in the playground, but getting used to the apparatus. Yes? Okay? Do you have any questions? Right. Can one of you get the golf ball out for me, please? Right, stop! Look this way, please.
Yes.
Now, most of you seem to have it working, but what I want to know is how are you going to record the position of the ball? Now, what I do have over here is a trowel and some tray. What can you put in the tray? Not dirt. What do we have on the table outside? Sand. Right? First thing, okay, that disturbs me, is, well, first of all, you don't take the plastic wallet out of here now, okay? So you don't put it in your folder and walk off, okay? There have been students that have, where there was an accident, you're not listening, sorry. You're not listening. If you accidentally or not remove your piece of work, your coursework from this room, then you will have to do a different investigation and start all over again. Doesn't matter if it's an accident or not. It stays in this room, or in science. Okay? If you accidentally take it home for an evening and don't do anything to it, you'll be treated the same as if you intend to take it home and do stuff to it. Okay? So you never put it in your folder. It stays in here. There should be a front sheet with your name on, so we can see that it's your work. That's what we said. As soon as I handed it out, put your name on. There are people who are doing well. There are people who disturb me. One person in particular said, I'm not sure what I'm even supposed to be looking at, or words to that effect at the end of the lesson. Well, it says on the sheet, you're looking at something that affects the distance travelled by a ski jumper, didn't it? We then had a list of things that we've taken the trouble to write down that might affect the distance travelled by the ski jumper. Right? Haven't we? And the point for today was to practice building the ramp. Some of you now can build the ramp. Some of you have chosen, to be fair, I didn't notice that one group had done it until the end. So they didn't really have time to do it. But another group, at least one of the group, were launching their ramp off a stool and having the launch height above the table. You won't be able to measure the drop height on the ramp accurately. So it's no good doing it that way. Right? Now, one group I didn't tell until a couple of minutes before the end. They had no time to do anything about it. But they need to bear that in mind. Okay? Right? But you need to be able to reliably build this ramp. Okay? I think all of you have seen one way of measuring the distance travelled by the ball, haven't you? It does work, doesn't it? Sand in the tray. Does that work? Yeah? You don't need piles of sand. If you can think of a better way, let us know. Okay? Think of a better way, let us know. What are you going to do tonight? You're going to go away. This is 25% of a GCSE. You're going to start to think. Somebody's already asked me, can you do work on it at home? Certainly, you can do research at home. Right? What you can't do is bring any written work into school. Okay? If you want to think about stuff, if you want to go on, if you want, there's nothing stopping you from thinking about it or finding stuff out. Yeah? It's just you can't bring any printed stuff into school. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you prepare, you will do better. If you spend time thinking about it, you will do better. Right? It's a nice thing, actually, because the more work you do, the better you will do. Who's out there?
It is another year 11 science group.
Yeah, well, you're choosing to be distracted, both of you. Look this way. There's nothing. In reality, I have taught you stuff that will allow you to get up to an A or better on the coursework. Right? We have done theory that will take you to an A or better. But you have to actually earn it and get it. Getting an A on your piece of coursework will turn a C into a B into an A, potentially, a D into a C. There's only gains for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes? Right, so tonight I suggest you start to prepare. Think about what things could affect the distance travelled by the ball. I didn't see anybody change the height of the drop. So how high the bottom of the ramp was off the ground. See anybody do that? But anyway, right? Have to think about what the effect would be. If the bottom of the ramp was closer to the ground, would the ski jumper travel further or not as far or the same distance? Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay. I need now every single person's. Joe?
There's a tennis ball under the...
Okay, thank you.
See? Guide the eyes. Don't need special glasses. I think the best yes for the one is...
I will say it again, because we have had a couple of people who've accidentally taken stuff out. I don't know whether it was deliberate or not, so I'll say it's accidental. That's not a problem for me to say. But whether it's accidental or not, it will be treated the same. You will have to do a completely different investigation. You'll end up doing it in your own time. Right? It's no good, is it? Don't do it. Don't make the mistake. Will we find out? Yes, we will. Again,